finishing up reading my books. I got some new books for the channel to read. So let's start finishing reading a true book, Grassland Mammals, and we're on prairie dogs. Prairie dogs. The prairie dog, a member of the squirrel family, is a light brown furry animal whose cry sounds like a dog's bark. They are about 12 inches tall with a tail about 3 inches long. The two major types of prairie dogs are black-tailed prairie dogs and the less common white-tailed one. Both kinds are extremely social, live in groups of hundreds or even thousands known as colonies or towns. Prairie dogs make their homes in burrows, which they dig as deep as 16 feet below ground. Each burrow usually has two openings so that the animal can escape if it is threatened by a predator such as a ferret, eagle, coyote, or bobcat. Many burrows are a mound of dirt around the entrance. These mounds serve as lookout points, allowing a prairie dog to see an enemy. Approaching prairie dogs only leave their burrows during the day to look for grass, roots, seeds, and green plants to eat. Outside, if the prairie dog becomes aware of danger, it warns the others in the colony by making a loud chirping sound. Farmers and ranchers have disliked prairie dogs because they suspected that these animals ate grass and plants needed by their livestock. They were also concerned that their animals might accidentally stumble into a burrow and injure their leg. But research has not shown that prairie dogs pose any real threat to livestock. Giraffes. What do you notice first about a giraffe? Its height is certainly unusual. Giraffes are the tallest animals on Earth. Males grow about 18 feet tall, females about 14 feet tall. Are somewhat smaller. Much of the giraffe's height comes from its long legs and neck. Its neck allows the giraffe to reach the height into the trees for leaves, shoots, and fruits to eat. The giraffe's long legs also serve the animal well, enabling it to run far and fast. Giraffes can reach speeds up to 34 miles an hour. The reddish-brown patches on the giraffe's coat are special too. In a way, these markings are like human fingerprints. Each giraffe has its own pattern, and while the markings darken with age, their shapes never change. This means that researchers can identify individual giraffes in the wild and study them over time. Lions and hyenas are the giraffe's main enemies. If a giraffe escapes from a lion's grip, it can nearly always outrun it. If it is forced to fight the giraffe defends itself by kicking with its strong legs and hard hooves. These powerful blows can kill. Humans have not always been the giraffe's friend. At times, giraffes have been wildly hunted, and these animals have lost much of their territory as grasslands have been turned into farms. Aardvarks. Aardvark. Aardvark is a short-snouted African animal whose name means earth pig. It stands about 3 feet high and weighs at 120 pounds. The aardvark, the Aardvark, has a long, narrow head, a pig-like snout, and ears that look like a donkey's ears. Aardvarks have gray or pinkish skin, but they usually look brown because their bodies are nearly always covered with crusty soil. Aardvarks live in underground burrows they dig with their claws. They are fast diggers and can quickly dig a hole to hide in if an enemy is nearby. And Aardvark also uses its claws to destroy ants and termite nest. Once it opens a nest, the AARDVARK sweeps up the insects with its long, sticky tongue. These animals have keen hearing. When out alone searching for food, an AARDVARK listens for approaching predators. If it senses danger, it retreats to its burrow. But if flight is impossible, it rolls over on its back and defends itself with its claws. Lions, leopards, hunting dogs, pythons prey on AARDVARKS. Some African tribes also hunt these animals for their meat. And remember, Arthur! Kangaroos! Did you know that there are many different kinds of kangaroos? Most people think of these animals as looking like the 6-foot tall, 180-pound red kangaroo, but the gray kangaroo is almost as big. There is also a 16-inch long rat kangaroo, one of the smallest members of the kangaroo family. All kangaroos are marsupials, mammals whose babies grow in a pouch on their mother's belly. A newborn red or gray kangaroo is teeny. It is blind, hairless, and weighs less than 1 ounce. Shortly after birth, the little kangaroo climbs into the mother's pouch and spends the next few months of its life there, drinking its mother's milk while it continues to grow. Later on, the young kangaroo, called a joey, leaves the pouch for short periods to explore the outside world. Adult kangaroos feed on grass and other plants. They usually spend the hot daylight hours resting in the shade and look for food at night. At times, large numbers of kangaroos, known as mobs, gather together where food is plentiful. Perhaps kangaroos are the best known for the unusual way they move about. They hop on their strong hind legs. A large kangaroo can reach speeds of up to 30 miles an hour. If necessary, it can jump as far as 28 feet in a single bound. The kangaroo's main predator is a wild dog called the dingo. Eagles and foxes also frequently attack young joeys. In the past, humans killed large numbers of kangaroos for their hides. Today, the kangaroo is legally protected throughout Australia. The end of Grassland Mammals. The next book is called a true book, Tropical Forest Mammals. Tropical Forest Mammals. Tropical forests. The tropical forests of the world are lush, green wonderlands. The trees there grow hundreds of feet high. Smaller trees and shrubs cover the ground. Thick rainforest vines wind around tree trunks and branches and hang like long ropes. Colorful orchids and other flowers add to the forest's beauty. The tropical rainforest is one kind of tropical forest. This rich green area receives a huge amount of rainfall all year round. There are also seasonal tropical forests. These regions have a dry season as well as a wet season. Seasonal tropical forests do not have as many different kinds of trees and plants as rainforests do. All tropical forests have a wide variety of animals. However, inch for inch, they contain more life than any other region on the earth. Many tropical forest plants and animals cannot be found anywhere else. This book looks at just a few of the many mammals that live in tropical forests. Mammals are animals with backbones and with larger brains than other types of animals. They are also the only animals that nurse their young, but some tropical forest mammals are at risk of becoming extinct. These animals often have been captured or killed by humans for various reasons. Many tropical forest animals have died after much of their natural habitat was destroyed. In the past 50 years, more than 40% of the world's tropical forests have been destroyed for lumber or to make way for new towns and farms. Plans have been designed to save these rich woodlands, but in many parts of the world, tropical forests and animals in them remain threatened. Jaguars are found in Mexico and in Central and South America. Howling monkeys are found in Central and South America. Sloths are found in Central and South America. Orangutans are found in Sumatra and Borneo. Tapirs are found in Southeast Asia and Central and South America. Jaguars. Imagine walking through a forest knowing that a large wildcat is stalking you, including its tail. The animal is 8.5 feet long and weighs about 300 pounds. Out of the corner of your eye, you get a better look at it. Its coat is yellowish beige with black spots, ring-like markings. The animal is watching your every move. You're surprised because you know that this wildcat usually rests during the day. It is active after dark when its deep grunting call sounds through the forest. But now at midday it only makes low growling sounds as it gazes your way. The animal on your tail is a fierce predator known as a jaguar. Sometimes it preys on monkeys, birds, turtles, and other small animals, but it is more likely to attack large animals such as deer and tapirs. If its prey tries to escape the jaguar by jumping into a river or lake, it usually doesn't get far. The jaguar is an excellent swimmer, can easily overtake its prey in the water. The jaguar often uses its strength to move its kill from place to place. It can swim across a river with a deer in its mouth. But it is unlikely that you would become the jaguar's next meal. Jaguars rarely attack humans. These curious wildcats have been known to track people carefully without even approaching them. Jaguars have no enemies in their natural habitat, but throughout the years, humans have greatly reduced their numbers. Today, the jaguar is recognized as an endangered species and protected by law. Tapirs. Tapirs are shy tropical forest dwellers. They weigh 500 to 700 pounds and stand 3.5 feet high at the shoulder. Tapirs have an excellent sense of smell. They can thrust out their long mouths a full 12 inches. To sniff plants they might want to eat. These animals feed on fruit, buds, leaves, and twigs of low-growing plants, trees, and shrubs. They also eat aquatic plants. Although the tapir looks like a large pig, it is actually related to the horse and rhinoceros. The tapir doesn't look like any of these animals, but like the rhinoceros, it enjoys mud baths. Tapirs are found in the swamps or marshy areas of tropical forests. They like to swim and are good divers. When fleeing from an enemy, they often jump into the water. To escape, tapirs can remain underwater for a long time. There are several species or types of tapirs. The Malayan tapir's front and limbs are often dark brown or black, while the rest of its body is white. The tapirs of Central and South America are usually dark brown or reddish. In the wild, the tapir's main enemies are jaguars and tigers. Today, humans have caused the number of tapirs to decrease by destroying tropical forests. Orangutans. Orangutans are human-like in appearance. These great apes stand 4 to 5 feet high and weigh about as much as a grown human. An orangutan cannot be mistaken easily for a gorilla or chimpanzee, sometimes jokingly called a redhead. The orangutan has long, shaggy, reddish or orange hair. Only its face, feet, and hands are hairless, revealing the animal's dark brown skin. The orangutans live in trees and rarely come down to the ground. Its body is well suited for this way of life. Its curved fingers grasp tree branches easily, and its long arms are ideal for swinging through the forest. Orangutans even sleep in trees. Every night, the orangutan builds a new nest out of broken branches and leaves. It usually abandons the nest the next morning and moves on to other trees. At times, an orangutan returns to the nest for a short nap during the day. Most of the orangutan's waking hours are spent eating fruits and leaves. Unlike other great apes, these animals do not live in groups. A baby orangutan stays with its mother for the first 3 to 4 years of its life. However, in the past, many zoos were willing to pay a great deal of money for a baby orangutan. Unfortunately, these babies could be obtained only by first killing their mothers. As orangutans only give birth about every 4 years, their numbers soon shrank. Today, the orangutan is protected by local and international laws. The United States, along with other nations, prohibit bringing these animals into the country. Sloths. If you saw a sloth in a tropical rainforest, you might think it was a strange-looking creature. These hairy animals have long limbs, rounded heads, peg-like teeth, and narrow curved feet. With strong claws, sloths are nearly tailless, and their ears are barely noticeable. These slow-moving animals spend their lives hanging upside down in trees. They eat and sleep that way. A sloth's body may remain hanging from a tree branch even after the animal dies. Sloths seldom come down from the trees they eat. Leaves, buds, and twigs there, and a sloth can easily hide from its predators in a tree. The animal's long, thick, brownish gray hair often becomes covered with bright green algae. Predators passing by think the animal is part of the tree. There are 2 types of sloths: the two-toed sloth and the three-toed sloth. The two-toed sloth, also known as the Unau, is about 2 feet long. It has 2 toes on each of its front feet. The three-toed sloth is called the Ai. It is slightly smaller than a two-toed sloth. It has 3 toes on its front feet. Howler monkeys. Can you guess from its name what the howler monkey is best known for? If you said the howling sound it makes, you are right. Just as roosters crow at daybreak, howler monkeys give out a very loud roar at dawn. Despite its loud howl, the howler monkey is not very large. Usually these animals are only 2 feet long and weigh up to 20 pounds. Howler monkeys have strong tails, however, that are about as long as their bodies. Howlers have black, brown, or reddish fur depending on their species, but their hairless faces are always black. These monkeys live in groups of about 20 animals with many more females than males. Each group has its own territory, which it carefully guards. These monkeys howl in the early morning to let other groups know their location and to warn them to stay away. A howler monkey group will also roar of another group if another group comes too close to its boundaries. Howler monkeys sleep in trees. They also eat their feeding They also eat their feeding on leaves, buds, and fruit. Howlers, especially like figs. Full-grown howlers have few predators in the wild, yet, like so many other tropical forest animals, their numbers have declined in recent years because of the destruction of their habitats by humans. The end of A True Book, Tropical Forest Mammals. The next book is called The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything by Linda Williams, illustrated by Megan Lloyd. The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything. Once upon a time, there was a little old lady who was not afraid of anything. One windy afternoon, the little old lady left her cottage and went for a walk in the forest to collect herbs and spices, nuts and seeds. She walked so long and so far that it started to get dark. There was only a sliver of moon shining through the night. The little old lady started to walk home. Suddenly she stopped. In the middle of the path were two big shoes, and the shoes went clomp, clomp. Get out of my way, you two big shoes. I'm not afraid of you, said the little old lady. On she walked down the path. Behind her she could hear two shoes going clomp, clomp. A little farther on, the little old lady stumbled into a pair of pants, and the pants went wiggle, wiggle. Get out of my way, you pair of pants. I'm not afraid of you, said the little old lady. She walked on, and she walked on, but behind her she could hear two shoes going clomp, clomp, and one pair of pants going wiggle, wiggle. Farther still, the little old lady bumped into a shirt. The shirt went shake, shake. Get out of my way, you silly shirt. I'm not afraid of you, said the little old lady, and on she walked. A little bit faster, but behind her she could hear two shoes going clomp, clomp, one pair of pants going wiggle, wiggle, one shirt going shake, shake. A little ways on, the little old lady came upon two white gloves and a tall black hat, and the gloves went clap, clap, and the hat went nod, nod. Get out of my way, you two white gloves, and you tall black hat. I'm not afraid of you, she said. And on she walked just a little bit faster, and behind her she could hear two shoes going clomp, clomp, one pair of pants going wiggle, wiggle, one shirt going shake, shake, two gloves going clap, clap, and one hat going nod, nod. By now, the little old lady was walking at quite a fast pace. She was very near the cottage when she was startled by a very huge, very orange, very scary pumpkin head, and the head went boo, boo. This time, the little lady did not stop to talk. She did not stop at all. She ran, and behind her she could hear two shoes going clomp, clomp, one pair of pants going wiggle, wiggle, one shirt going shake, shake, two gloves going clap, clap, one hat going nod, nod, and one scary pumpkin head going boo, boo. The little lady did not look back. She ran as fast as she could and didn't stop to catch her breath until she was safe inside her cottage and the door knocked. She sat in her chair by the fire. She rocked and she rocked. It was so quiet in her cottage before the knock, knock on the door. Should she answer? Well, she was not afraid of anything, so she went to the door and opened it. What do you think she saw? Two shoes going clomp, clomp. One pair of pants going wiggle, wiggle. One shirt going shake, shake. Two pair of gloves going clap, clap. One hat going nod, nod. And one scary pumpkin going boo, boo. I'm not afraid of you, said the little old lady bravely. What do you want anyway? We've come to scare you. You can't scare me, said the little old lady. Then what's to become of us? The pumpkin head suddenly looked unhappy. I have an idea, said the little old lady. She whispered into the pumpkin's ear. The pumpkin head nodded. Its face seemed so brightened. The little old lady said good night, closed the door, and whistled on her way to bed. The next morning she woke up early. She went to her window and looked out her garden, and what do you think she saw? Two shoes going clomp, clomp. One pair of pants going wiggle, wiggle. One shirt going shake, shake. Two gloves going clap, clap. One hat going nod, nod. And one scary pumpkin head going boo, boo. And scare all the crows away. The end. Jingle Dress by Cynthia Lynch Smith. Jingle Dancer by Cynthia Lynch Smith. Jingle Dancer. Tink, 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 sang cone-shaped jingle sewn to Grandma Wolf's dress. Every grandma bounce step brought clattering tinks as light blurred silver against jingles of tin. Gina daydreamed at the kitchen table, tasting honey on fry bread, her heart beating to the brum, 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 brum of the powwow drum. As Moon kissed Sun goodnight, Gina shifted her head on Grandma Wolf's shoulder. I want to jingle dance too. Next powwow, you could dance, girls, Grandma Wolf answered. But we don't have enough time to mail order tins for rolling jingles. Again and again, Gina watched a videotape of Grandma Wolf jingle dancing with Grandma Bounce stepped on TV. Gina Bounce stepped on family room carpet, but Gina's dress would not be able to sing. It needed 4 rows of jingles. As sun fetched morning, Gina danced east to Great Aunt Sis's porch. Gina's bounce steps crunched autumn leaves, but her steps didn't jingle. Once again, Great Aunt Sis told Gina a Muskogee Creek story about Bat. Although other animals had said he was too small to make a difference, Bat won a ball game by flying high and catching a ball in his teeth. Rising sunlight reached through a window pane and flashed against, what was it, hanging in Aunt Sis's bedroom. Jingles on a dress, too long, quiet. May I borrow enough jingles to make a row? Gina asked, not wanting to take so many that Aunt Sis's dress would lose its voice. You may, Aunt Sis answered, rubbing her calves. My legs don't work so good anymore. Will you dance for me? I will, said Gina with a kiss on Aunt Sis's cheek. Now Gina's dress needed 3 more rows. As sun arrived at Mid-circle, Gina skipped south to Miss Scott's brand new duplex. At Gina's side, jingles clinked. Mrs. Scott led Gina into the kitchen. Once again, Gina rolled dough and Mrs. Scott fried it. "May I borrow enough jingles to make a roll?" Gina asked, not wanting to take so many that Mrs. Scott's dress would lose its voice. You may, Mrs. Scott answered, tossing flour with her apron. "At powwow, I'll be busy selling fry bread and Indian tacos. Will you dance for me?" "I will," said Gina with a high five. Now Gina's dress needed 2 more rows. As Sun caught a glimpse of Moon, Gina strolled into Cousin Elizabeth's apartment. At Gina's side, jingles clinked. Elizabeth had arrived home late from the law firm. Once again, Gina helped Elizabeth carry in her files. "May I borrow enough jingles to make a roll?" Gina asked, not wanting to take so many that Elizabeth's dress would lose its voice. "You may," Elizabeth answered, burrowing through her messy closet for her jingle dress. "This weekend I'm working on a big case and can't go to powwow. Will you dance for me?" "I will," said Gina, clasping her cousin's hands. "1 minute." Now Gina's dress needed 1 more row of jingles, but she didn't know which way to turn. As Moon glowed pale, Gina shuffled north to Grandma Wolf's. At Gina's side, Jingles sat silent, high above clouds, wavered like worried ghosts. When Gina tugged open the door, Jingles sang, "Tink, tink, tink, tink." Grandma Wolf was jingle dancing on TV. Gina breathed in every hey, ha, ho, ho of the powwow song. Her heart beat brum, 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 brum to the pounding of the drum. On family room carpet, beaded moccasins waited for Gina's feet. She knocked off a sneaker and slipped on a moccasin that long before had danced with Grandma Wolf. Gina knew where to find her 4th row. "May I borrow enough jingles to make a row?" Gina asked, not wanting to make so many that Grandma Wolf's dress would lose its voice. "You may," Grandma said with a hug. Now Gina's dress could sing. Every night that week, Gina helped Grandma Wolf sew on jingles and bring together the dance regalia. Every night, Gina practiced her bounce steps. Brum, 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 brum sounded the drum at the powwow the next weekend as light blurred silver. Gina jingle danced for Great Aunt Sis, whose legs ached. For Mrs. Scott, who sold fry bread. For Elizabeth, who worked on her big case. And for Grandma Wolf, who warmed like sun. Tink, 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 tink. The end.